Okay, had a successful day today, and I know everybody across the country is probably saying the same thing, but for the first time since I've been here, there wasn't any surprises, which there usually is a handful of surprises on today. So, pretty excited about the job that our staff did, led by Ryan Dorchester, who's in the back. How you doing, Cleveland? Doing good? He's from Cleveland, so likes Cleveland quite a bit, so he's got a new nickname. Ryan's done a great job. He's been with me the entire time here. This went off as smooth as it has, and this our 7th signing day or 6th? This would be our 6th signing day? Okay, so 6th signing day. Went off as smooth as it's been since I've been here. So very, very proud of Ryan and the job that he's done. Casey Smithson, recruiting coordinator, obviously had a big hand in this as well. And then the 9 full-time coaches, obviously 7 of them been here for quite a while doing this, and the 2 new guys hit the ground running for the month of January, and were a big help as well. So. The staff did a great job. I also want to commend our players. The one thing about recruiting in y'all's world that you probably don't get to see or hear from the recruits is the job that our players do on campus. And when we bring all these guys here, our players play a big role in helping recruit these guys. 2 weekends ago was the 30 inches of snow that we were in this building for. On Friday night, probably 8 hours, and then Saturday we were in the building for about 12 hours. Really couldn't go anywhere else. Oliveria's opened up their place on Saturday night, and we got to go over there to eat. But a lot of them were sitting in here watching Mountaineer basketball or eating pizza or something. But our players were around the guys the whole time, and we got every one of those recruits that were in on that weekend. And then this past weekend, we had another 7-8 guys that we needed to close with pretty strongly. And again, our players did a great job of selling our program. I think that goes to show the place that the program's in and the state of the program and the current players with the excitement level that they have towards the program and the staff. So really did a great job of closing and pretty excited about the guys overall. 18 of the guys signed today. There's nine guys that are currently enrolled. I wish those 9 were able to have their own little signing day, but the way that the signing periods are laid out, they don't get an early signing period. What makes the most sense to me is when the midterm junior college guys sign, which would have been somewhere around December 18th, December 17th, somewhere in there. I think it's the third Wednesday in December. I wish they'd make that an early signing period for high school guys. So, at that point, they're going to know where they're at. They're going to know where they're going. So those 9 could have signed, and then you could open it up to guys that have been committed for well over a year and a half, 2 years. I mean, they know where they're going too. So I wish those guys would have been able to sign in December and would have saved them a lot of hassle and saved us some money. But that's neither here nor there. I don't make those decisions. The NCAA and the administrators do. But there's 9 guys currently on campus in school, which you guys know who those guys are. They're all doing well, adjusting. We really haven't been around them too much. They've been in the academic world and the strength and conditioning world. We will start our off-season training on Monday, which will be around all the guys for about 5 weeks. New guys, old guys, whatever guys we got, we'll be around those guys for about 5 weeks prior to spring ball starting, and that's when we'll kind of get a better feel for how those guys are doing. But in the meantime, those other 18 guys signed today. I think top to bottom, we filled a lot of needs. Offensively, the biggest thing that we had to replace Wendell. We got to replace Cody Clay. We got to replace Marquise Lucas, and we got to replace Jordan Thompson. Those are the 4 contributors that we lost. Other than that, everybody's back, and we got some good quality kids coming back that are going to take a shot at being able to fill those roles. But if you look at Justin Crawford from Northwest Mississippi, he's got a lot of Wendell qualities from a versatility point of view. He can he's got great vision, can hit the hole quick, can make people miss, and is a good receiver as well. Steven Smothers, who signed today, has got a lot of start-stop qualities. He's a bigger version of even Tavon coming out of high school. There's been a lot of comparisons and a lot of similarities between the two. They've known each other for a long, long time, and Tavon's a big reason why Steven came here. But he's got a lot of start-stop qualities. He's fantastic returner, but we got a need for a guy like that right now. Trayvon Wesco, tight end from Lackawanna Junior College, will give us a bigger body to where we can continue to do some of the 11 personnel stuff that we've done. And Craig Smith, big tackle from Tyler, Texas, who's originally out of Miami, Palm Beach. You get guys like that are pretty seasoned guys that could fill some of those roles on offense. A lot more holes on defense. Clearly when we lose as many of the older guys that we lost, you got to fill those with that. And D-line, we didn't lose a whole lot, so we didn't have to go out and get a whole bunch of it. Linebackers, we got a lot of experienced guys coming back. You lose 5, but you still got guys that have experience that are coming back. But we loaded up on 4 quality high school guys at that spot. Obviously the one this morning, Brendan Ferns, was a big one for us. He's a little bit of a legacy kid, but had lots of options. Could have went virtually anywhere that he wanted to, and chose to come spend the next 4 years with his brother and with the Mountaineer family. Secondary is probably the biggest need on defense. You lose KJ, you lose Carl, you lose Daryl, you lose Chestnut. We had a lot of young guys that are in the program that, we've been down the road of having to play freshmen in the Big 12, and it didn't work out very good. So that's probably where we attack the junior colleges more than anything. I'd say headlined by Kaiser White, very familiar with him. He's very familiar with us. Don't have to go into that. But with that said, he could have went anywhere in the country. He's 6'2", he's 210 pounds. He's a fierce hitter. He can cover ground. He's always around the ball. He'll have a pretty good opportunity to step in for what KJ's done for us the last 4 years. Toyas Avery, Giovanni Stewart, a couple of other guys that are around the ball a lot and have made just a ton of plays. And then the corner situation, we got a couple of seniors coming, but you need about 4 of them to be able to play. You look in the dang bowl game, we were out there with our 4th and 5th and 6th corner a lot. So you need a bunch of people there that can play. You got some guys coming back that have experience, but to add 2 junior college guys and Mike Daniel and Elijah Battle is gonna be good for us. So all those junior college guys should be here around May 16th. We'll be able to work with them all summer. The high school guys will be later than that. They'll be more June 9th, even potentially into July a little bit. But overall, really a good day. Got a lot of the things that we need. Got them from 12 different states. I think's important to point out. That and it's a lot of regional guys. Probably more regional than we've been in quite some time. With 7 from Ohio, 4 from Pennsylvania, 3 from Maryland, 2 from West Virginia, 1 from New York. And then a couple down south as well. But that's more regional than we've been in quite some time. So I think that's another good thing to point out as well. So overall excited about it. Thought the staff's done a great job. So we'll take some questions from here.
Dana, how much, we like to evaluate, how much can you tell on paper on signing day, or is it just an educated guess when you do it too?
It's still a very educated guess. It's still a very educated guess for us. I mean, it's you get the questions, Coach. Who's your top 2 guys? That's just so hard to answer because you're gonna probably set the kid up for failure because you're gonna be wrong when you do that. we know what our needs are, and we're going to try to address those needs with specific recruits, either by volume or junior college. That doesn't mean guys on your team aren't ready to step up into those roles, but if those guys step up into those roles, then you need to add more people for depth. So our depth's been good. Coach Dorchester's done a fantastic job of as the roster guy, the player personnel guy, to getting depth where it needs to be. And I'm happy with where we're at this point. So we got room to maybe add a couple more if we identify a couple of guys out there that can help. But we may have to lose a guy or two in order to add the amount of numbers that we have to be able to add. So that just tells you you're in a good spot. You can only go to 85. So it's a guess, and you just try to get as many depths and as many bodies stacked on top of each other and let them compete their tail off. Competition within your group is what makes you better. I think we're at that place.
You mentioned Brendan and then Kaiser. What's the most difficult part about recruiting a legacy? Because they have expectations about the school because of what somebody else in their family did.
Well, yeah, expectations are fine. You're around them a bunch. You get to know them, pretty well. I think you take for granted that they have options. And we did not take for granted that either one of these two kids had options to go wherever they wanted. We recruited those two guys as hard or harder than anybody that we signed. But the truth of the matter is those guys had a lot of good opportunities and options elsewhere. We battled and we recruited hard, and we were fortunate to be able to get both those guys. I think probably the most difficult thing is just you're around them so much, you know them so well. You may take for granted the fact that you know them so well and you don't recruit them as hard as you need to, but I don't think that happened with either one.
Did your needs change when Worley and Wendell decided to go to the NFL? So did you have to change your objection?
It did, because we're counting on those two guys to come back and play a big role for us. They've played a lot. They've been 3-year starters for us, and we've got a lot out of those guys. I wish they'd changed that rule. The way I look at it, and nobody gives a crap what I think about it, but I wish they'd change it to where those guys have to finish what they started, which the degree aspect of it is the most important thing. If a guy gets his degree and he starts for 3 years and he's got a year of eligibility remaining, congratulations, son. You accomplished what you wanted to accomplish when you signed here and came to school here. If a guy exhausts his eligibility and he hasn't graduated yet, and that's just not what he wants to do, he'd rather go be a professional, then fine. I think that's the point where they can go do that. Like I said, nobody cares what I think, but that's what I think should have happened with those guys. But nonetheless, I support them and, follow them and wish them all the best, and hope things work out great. So we had to go out and find another back. That's a position that last year we were pretty fortunate when those two guys stayed healthy the whole year. And we really didn't have to get to 3 as much as we did the year before when we got to number 5 a lot. So you need to have some bodies there, and we need somebody to take the place of Wendell's and have that kind of a year, because I think the opportunity is going to be able to be there to be able to have that kind of a year. When you get all your linemen coming back and all your wideouts that can stretch the field, and quarterback and some backups that understand what we're trying to get accomplished, there's going to be opportunities for yards. And Russell Shell, I think, is going to step into a role and be able to carry the ball more. But by signing Crawford, that puts us in a pretty good place right there. And then corners the same way. We were probably we were targeting one junior college one, and then when Darryl left, we had to target another one. You don't want to line up with freshmen. We got a bunch of freshmen at that spot right now.
Considering you guys have to leave the state so much to recruit, how big of an advantage is to be able to get a couple guys from in-state?
You just contradicted yourself there. It's hard to recruit in-state when there's not a whole lot, but when there is, we certainly would love the opportunity to be able to do that. So we got 2. That's probably above the norm. You know, with Tonkery and Donahue, we got 2 good quality West Virginia kids that are very deserving of being at West Virginia University and playing in the Big 12. You know, so I wish there was more, but there's not. But if they're good quality guys, you know, on those same lines, we got, you know, I want to make reference to this. We got, you know, we got a good walk-on program here, and we're actively pursuing guys to come walk on, you know, and we got 3 from Morgantown High School. Cody Shear is a good little ball player. I'm starting to get to know these guys a good bit because my son's over there, and I'm able to go over there and watch games and be around the kids and stuff where, you know, obviously in the past that couldn't happen. Nathan Green from Brooks, a good football player. I saw Brooke in Morgantown play earlier in the year. He's a good football player, so he's coming, you know, and you look at that, there's 4 or 5 guys that are committed to come to West Virginia right now and try to earn their way. I mean, Justin Arndt's a prime example of that working out, you know, for him. Darren Arndt's another guy, prime example, played West Virginia football and came in and did everything right and the way they're supposed to, and those guys ended up being on scholarship, being contributors. So I think that's going to continue to cultivate itself, and, you know, we got to make decisions from a scholarship point of view out of high school, and then we got to do the same thing once they're on our team.
You liken White to Dylan. Kwiatkowski and Fern similar, or?
I think so. I mean, just from a body type, they are. You know, Ferns is probably more athletic than Quit was coming out of high school. You know, I mean, he's pretty athletic. I mean, Quit was turns it into just an unbelievably solid, tough-nosed, badass football player is what he turned into. You know, Fern and I when I got here, Quit was committed. You know, and so I didn't study it as much as I have Ferns. Ferns is athletic now. I mean, that guy plays everything. He plays offense, defense, throws it, catches it, runs it, tackles people. I mean, that's impressive, but the body type's very similar. And Kaiser is bigger than KJ. When KJ was starting as a freshman, this kid was 170 pounds. You know, turned into a 6'1", 210-pound guy that you currently see, but Kaiser right now is 6'1", 210 pounds. Maybe even bigger than that. But, you know, he's game ready now, where KJ over the course of a couple of years got there.
Juwan Wesco and his experience as a receiver, is he somebody you could target downfield a little more than your current tight ends?
Not at 280. That guy's huge right now. He's big. But he hadn't played. You know, he didn't play this past year, so he's gotten bigger. He's athletic. I think Hugs recruited him for a while when he was young. No, seriously, and because he was really a good athletic basketball player and just grew into more football body. I mean, the more they grow this way instead of this way, it switches from basketball recruits to football recruits, and he really filled out, had a heck of a freshman year, and unfortunately had a knee deal, so he didn't get to play this year, so he's gained some weight, but he's about to get cleared. By the time August rolls around, I'm probably thinking you're going to be looking at a 6'5", 250-pound athletic kid that can move, you know. Everybody always says you don't throw to the tight end. Well, watch Cody Clay run a dang corner out. You wouldn't throw it to him either. We've tried. He takes him 3 days to get there. But the closer you get to the goal line, the shorter that route is, and we threw that thing to Cody. So we'd love to be able to keep the tight end in there and do some things downfield. I've studied what the Carolina Panthers are doing right now, and although we don't have Superman at quarterback, that tight end does a lot of good things. He's really a good player. I'd love to have a guy that can do stuff like that, but it's a tough thing to go find.
You mentioned Crawford. You also signed 2 other high school running backs. What do you think of McCoy and Petaway?
McCoy's here now. He's a taller. He's probably 6 foot, 200 pounds, 6'1", 200. You think? Probably 6'1", 200. I don't trust anything Montero puts together right here. I don't know where you find all this stuff. It's probably 100% accurate. Says 6'2", 195. I'd say he's probably 6'2", 195. But he's longer. He's very versatile. I mean, you can do a lot of different things with him. He's got some Wendell qualities, just as far as being able to run and catch and do some different things. Got good shake, which is good. Petaway's, he's a shorter, more shiftier front line guy. So they're both, I think, and they're both good football players. I think we'll probably end up needing both of them.
What are your thoughts on the way the cornerback situation is going to shape up this year with the two JUCO guys coming in?
Hopefully a lot of competition. We got, right now we're in good shape with Rasul Douglas looks great. I mean, the longer the season went on, the better he played. I anticipate him being a guy. Antonio Crawford gaining eligibility is good of a corner as I've seen. I mean, he's good. Kid can play. So you got a couple of guys. Nana Kyram, has been here for a long time now, knows what to do. Is good. But then after that, you're just looking at a whole bunch of young kids. And again, maybe I'm not saying any of these freshmen can't come in and play. Jake Long can run. The Mahone kid can really strike you. But the two corners, those guys need to come in and compete. So that just gives you depth, and it gives you, guys on top of each other. In the Big 12, you're going to have to go through some corners. I mean, we averaged 4 to 5 corners playing, whether it's, every down or just a series here or a series there, and then on special teams as well.
Do you guys have an idea where you want 4 linebackers to play right now, or you're just going to wait till they get here and figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, you really don't. I mean, Timmons right now looks like a middle linebacker. Sandwich looks like a Sam. Hensley looks like a Will. Ferns looks like anything. It doesn't matter. Give you a look at those guys, and, he'll evaluate them. And you want a bigger, thicker guy at Sam, and a shiftier, smaller, faster guy at Will, and a Mike just to plug things up. But you can move those guys around. Quip played both a lot. Najee Good, when he was here, he played all 3, damn near every game. So you can move those guys around.
What do you think of Cody Saunders?
Athletic, 6'2", 205, weighs more, is bigger than when you look at him, he doesn't look 6'2", 205, but he is. He's got a live arm. He's nervous as hell right now, as all freshmen are. Doesn't know anything. Haven't had any time to work with him. He's got good athleticism. He's bright-eyed. He's happy to be here. It's funny. We height and weight all of our quarterbacks, and they're all right there at about 205, 210. So they're all pretty athletic. Most of them. Most of them are guys that are true dual threat guys. Chugs probably isn't going to run away from anybody, but has got the livest arm of all of them. So it's going to be fun. We've got 5 healthy, competitive bodies that, we'll work with them and coach them and film work them and let them develop and get out there and let them play. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I know one of them has an abundance amount of confidence right now based on that bowl game. And he's a senior, and, those other guys got their work cut out for them, but it'd be fun to watch.
And are you going into camp with Sills as a wide receiver or quarterback, and with Crest's situation too?
Yeah, they're all 5 at quarterback right now. I got Howard, Crest, Sills, Chugs, and Saunders right now, and then you got Hensley back there as well. So they want to be in the quarterback room. The next 5 weeks, we get 2 hours of film work with them. We get very, very, very little football skill instruction type stuff with them. We can get out there and watch Mike run them around and do drills with strength and conditioning stuff and all that. But they want to be in the quarterback room, so for the next 5 weeks, they'll be in there with me and Coach Burchett, and we will drill them and quiz them and get them on the board and test them and see what their knowledge is. And that's step 1. And then we got 15 days of spring practice to be able to drill them and take snaps. They can only one of them can take a snap at a time. So I would anticipate, David and William, as opposed to sitting on the sidelines 80% of the time, they will probably get in there and continue to play football.
How much did the addition of Wickline help you out with recruiting down the stretch?
he's well versed in recruiting, to say the least. He's been around for a while. He's originally from Tampa, so he knows the area down there pretty well. Knows the junior colleges as good as anybody in the country. He was a Mississippi junior college coach at one time, head coach in Mississippi. He knows what he's looking for. He's a great evaluator. You know, he can evaluate anything. He can go anywhere in the country and has lots of connections to where he can go out and sell what our brand is. So he's going to help out a bunch in a lot of different ways.
Dana, 4 offensive linemen. Look at those. Tell me what your thoughts are of those 4.
3 of them I doubt we'll talk about for the next 3 years, hopefully. And then Craig Smith, the big kid, he's an interesting story. He's a basketball guy, one of those 6'6" basketball guys that, you know, are a dime a dozen, right? So he gained some weight as a senior and went to some junior college in Minnesota, which hated that, which is pretty understandable. And then he ended up going to Tyler Junior College, which is really good football, you know, and sat out a year and then played this past year at Tyler and did a great job, you know, just kind of coming into his own. He's been as big as like 6'6", 360, and right now he's probably 6'6", 310. So he needs some weight room work, which will get him caught up here this, you know, hopefully he'll get some stuff done at home, and then May, June, July, get some strength to him, have a chance to be able to compete. Need a tackle. He's got some options.
Any thoughts on how you're going to use maybe John Young this year with O'Toole gone?
Competition, you know, Josh has got to get back to being the All-American guy we know he can be. You know, John Young went out to Vegas and won the national punting contest here a couple weeks ago. He's got a big leg, so he says he's striking the ball as well as he ever has. He can kick off, you know, and then we got a couple candidates on campus right now, and Billy Kinney and Mike Molina, that they want to have something to say about that as well. So, you know, we got 4 good legs, which you know you need that many over the course of the season, but just have a lot of competition. You know, Coach Scott will chart all that stuff this spring and in camp, and we'll make decisions on who we feel like the best one is for all 3 of those spots. Two of the 3 are open. You know, but we got to get Josh back to where he was. You know, he made some good kicks this year, not taking anything. He had a tough year. He overcame a whole lot of things this year, so he's got to get back to being that guy. You know, that's a Lou Groza All-American kind of guy.